Okay. Yeah, that's pretty special. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited once again to be listening to Nightwish. This time we are going back in time to, I think, around 2005 or 2006. We're going to be listening to Over the Hills and Far Away from the End of an Era tour or album or whatever it was. This was a performance from, I think, from a DVD that was copied onto YouTube. It's very old technology, but that's okay. We're going to dive into this and we're going to be listening to TARJA, who I haven't listened to a lot of. I've mostly been focusing on Floor Jansen and relatively newer Nightwish, not the most recent Nightwish, but this is certainly older for me. So I'm really excited to listen to that. Let's dive right in. If you want your recommendations to get bumped up to the top of the list, check out Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon, both of which are linked in the video description. Here we go. Okay, we've got lots of energy. As always with Nightwish, right? It's just high energy all the time. It's absolutely fantastic. Really cool to see everybody looking so young. This is definitely an older recording, but it's just kind of fascinating to see how young everybody looks. But the quality of the musicianship and all of that stuff is still very much the same. Now, if I think in the very, very, very backs of my mind, I can remember my brother listening to this probably around 2005, 2006. And I know this is a cover. This is not an original Nightwish piece, but I would have only ever heard Nightwish's version many years ago. So I can hear it in the back of my brain. What I'm trying not to do is compare TARJA's voice to Floor's voice, because we don't really need to make that comparison. I can let you do that on your own. But before I watched this video, going through some of the comments was really interesting, because a lot of people were saying this is my Nightwish. This is the Nightwish that I remember and that I prefer, right? So it's kind of cool how it's still one band, but there's a really great fan base. But even within that fan base, you can have your own opinions of what version of the group you like the most. And I think that's a really cool thing to do. And I know there was some drama with what went on, but the fact that you can, have different versions of the band that you prefer because you've had such great lead singers overall, I think that's a good problem to have. Yeah. Oh. Hey. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty special. One thing about Nightwish is you never really know when the song is finished because they just take it to the very last second. Ugh. So amazing. I mean, look at that crowd. Look at the energy. Look at the stage, and the spectacle is just so fantastic. And the whole time I was listening to that, I was just thinking about how, metal is, it's really just like classical music, but with more electronic instruments and sort of a different atmosphere. That's really all it is. Because the music, I know this is not a Nightwish original, as I said, but just the music is so beautiful. Everything Nightwish has ever done that I've listened to, it's just been quite extensive. Like I've done a fair bit of Nightwish on this channel, but the music is just so beautiful, and the musicians are so incredibly skilled. It's just incredible. Like the guitar solo, the bass, the drums, of course, the singer is it's just fantastic. It really is. So what I want to do now is I want to go back and take a look at some things and break down a couple reasons, maybe talk about a few things as to why this is so good. And you can tell me why you like it, or maybe why you don't like it, because you have your own opinions, right? I don't want to sway your opinion. I just want to break down what I'm hearing. So I've gone back to the beginning, and we're going to listen to this again. But I looked up the lyrics, and it's a very interesting story. So it's about this guy who is accused of a crime, accused of stealing, I think. And he was with a woman that he wasn't supposed to be with. So he didn't want to give away his alibi, basically, because he didn't want to admit that he was having this affair. So he went to prison for 10 years. So the over the hills and far away part is over the hills and far away for 10 long years. He'll count the days over the mountains and the seas. A prisoner's life for him there'll be. So he's gone over the hills and far away to this prison, accused of a crime he didn't commit. And I say he because the song is by Gary Moore, and he wrote the lyrics, and it's supposed to be not, I don't think, a true story, but a story. Bound. So she's got that real bite to her voice. She opens the mouth like crazy. Bound. And gets kind of that nasal resonance going on in there to carry that sound. These metal singers, they have microphones and a big system, but they have big, big voices, right? And she's really trying to spit out that text so we can understand the story. Damn. So this sounds like a really difficult song to sing because it's right in that zone vocally for a soprano where it's kind of floating between the chest voice and the head voice. So you can hear when she goes over the hills and far away. It's almost more of her like operatic sound that we heard when she sang the Phantom of the Opera duet. It's kind of similar to that range because she's forced to go in the head voice. But then when she's singing, he knew that it would cost him dear, she's on the higher end of her chest voice. So that's where decisions have to be made. Like she can sing high and really try to belt it, but when it's in that in-between sort of no man's land zone, it's really difficult, especially when you're moving around a lot on the stage. That's really hard. So she's doing a good job of making the decision and sticking with the register and making it sound good, because that's not easy. Also, is this like Jack Sparrow or something on the front of his keyboard there? The energy here too. I mean, Thomas is, he's the mastermind behind a lot of this stuff. And I like how he just sort of chills in the background. He's shredding the keys, but he just sort of chills in the background. He's not in the spotlight yet. The brain is just braining. Yeah, I love that. Love that she kind of goes off on her own there and sings that longer line. I was shocked at the text here. So he had to fight back tears of rage. His heart beat like a drum. For with the wife of his best friend, he spent his final night of freedom. So he did commit a crime, but it wasn't a robbery. Yikes. Okay. So then it goes on to say, and we'll hear this in just a moment, each night within his prison cell, he looks out through the bars. He reads the letters that she wrote. One day he'll know the taste of freedom. She prays he will return one day. As sure as the rivers reach the seas, back in his arms again she'll be. So he did the deed with this wife of his best friend. And then this is the motivation for him when he gets out of prison. Hopefully he'll be with her. Whoops. Yeah. I wish there was a rock band version of Nightwish, like rock band Nightwish, and then you could just play all the instruments for this. I always loved Rock Band and Guitar Hero growing up. Can you imagine shredding this song on an Xbox 360 in 2010? That'd be a dream come true. So this just highlights this 45-second solo just highlights how exceptionally good these people are at what they do. And I haven't really thought about it or had a chance to compare. Maybe you can answer this question for me in the comment section. How has Nightwish, other than slight changes in personnel every now and then, how has Nightwish changed and evolved over time? Because you would think this isn't the peak of their musical abilities and their musical skill or their artistic skill. So how have they changed over the years? Has the music shifted? Because I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between old stuff, between kind of newish, older stuff somewhere in the middle, and then newer stuff. So I don't fully know I don't see that progression maybe as clearly as an OG Nightwish fan. So can you leave a comment in the comment section? Just let me know like what's changed? How have they evolved? How has the music shifted? Has it at all? Have you noticed anything, or has it been much of the same? What's going on? One thing I will say that I do know is that when TARJA left, the music that they would write shifted and changed because this was a dramatic moment in the band's history. So they would write about it. I think Thomas would write about it, and they would do songs sort of based on that memory or that shift in their lives. And I know also do know that they have written about what it's like to be famous and how their lives have shifted over time as they've become famous. So obviously that's changed, but any other details that you can give me would be very much appreciated. I love the harmony there. I didn't actually hear it on the first run through. I want to listen to that again. There's like a 3 or 4 part harmony going on. I don't know if that's the other 3 guys or if there's like some sort of backing vocal ensemble that's singing too, or if it's part of a track or what it is. But I like that. That adds an interesting layer, because it seems like the guitars or the guitar or the bass or something goes away for a bit, and then we focus more on the harmony. That's really great. And then we get this key change to sort of finish it off. And then Marco does that big scream. Yeah. So all the instruments came out except the drum and the singer, and they focused on the harmony. And now with the key change, everybody's back in. This is the final push to the end of the song. I love that Marco scream. That was hilarious. I mean, yeah, it's incredible what they can do, right? And again, even in such a high intensity situation, it's so musical and it's so beautiful. And I love the harmonic parts. I love the solos. I love all that stuff. It's just Nightwish always just brings it. And that's what I love most about them. So that is going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out some of the videos popping up on your screen right now. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video.